Well, thank you for being here this afternoon, and we're excited, obviously, to introduce Trayvon to you guys and to the Jacksonville Nation, and we want to just extend a Jacksonville welcome to his mom and dad, to Steed and Sonia here, and just excited. Excited that they're here as well to share in Trayvon's moment. As you guys know, and you heard from Trent and I last night, this is obviously a process that we went through, and very collaborative process to get to this decision. And obviously, we felt that, with Trayvon as somebody that can really come in and help and make an impact right away. And that's why we chose him. Obviously number one overall. Very talented individual, but I think more than that, when you get to know him as a person, as a human being off the field as well. So with that, we'll open it up for questions.
Shad, can you talk to us about the process that you went through, kind of getting to know Trayvon as a prospect and then getting to know him as a player? What was this process like for you?
Well, I think I met Trayvon at the Combine, and then obviously, adding on to what Doug was talking about, I think Doug, Trent, their staffs, obviously coaches, scouts, they've spent a lot of time really, redeveloping our process, full of, not only collaboration but transparency. And, the net result is this is, the direction we're going to be going.
Trayvon, welcome to Duval.
Yes, sir.
First off, when did you know for sure that you would be number one? And then secondly, despite all the success at Georgia, was it frustrating not to rush the quarterback more? And when you hear the doubters say that you're limited in that part of your game, what's your reaction?
To answer your first question, I didn't really know until right before the draft, just like everybody else, but I had a pretty good idea. And just to all the people that say that I can't pass rush or do whatever, wasn't as productive at Georgia. I've never really just played one position consistently, so I feel like I'll be able to grow as a player once I just focus on one main position.
Done.
This is easy.
We're done. Let's go.
This is easy.
We're not going to let you off that easy, Trent. Come on, you know this. Hi, Trayvon. Mia. Nice to meet you. First things first, for you, and you elaborated on it there, but being a part of that Georgia defense, what were you asked to do? Because a lot of your coaches have said that you just wanted to be on the field and contribute as best you can. Where do you see yourself playing on the field versus maybe what you did previously?
I see myself playing on the edge. 5 technique, anything on the outside on the edge. But at Georgia, I was just, like you said, I always told my coaches I'll do anything to get on the field. So therefore, I play everything from a 0 nose all the way out to a 9 wide 6 technique.
And for you, was it 4-hour drive from
yes,
Jacksonville?
it's a 4-hour drive.
What does that mean for you?
It really means a lot to me because I know my mom, she doesn't like getting on planes, flying, so she'll be able to make that drive really easy, and I know how she is. She always want to be under me, and I don't mind. I'm a mama's boy.
Love it, love it. And then I also have one for Shad. Shad, you said last night on NFL Network that when you looked at the numbers that this was an easy pick. How did you guys reach this conclusion as one unit?
Well, I think, it's taken, obviously, a lot of time, to be able to come up with that. But, I think, the results speak for themselves. But I think we were all, unanimous that this is absolutely the right thing for our team, for us, and, Trayvon was going to be our number 1 pick.
Hey, Trayvon here in the back. What does it mean for you? I know your phones start kind of blowing up after you become that number 1 overall pick. Have you heard from any of your current teammates yet?
I definitely have heard from a couple of them. A couple of them, even after they got drafted last night, they came to where I was as well. So it really meant a lot to me to just be around those guys, even the ones that got drafted.
How about your new teammates, your new Jaguars teammates? You have a guy that knows a little bit about the pressure that comes with being the number 1 overall pick on the roster.
I had to say I'm pretty close with Trevor Lawrence. I've been knowing him ever since high school. So I feel like he'll be somebody who takes me under his wing. I came on my top 30 visit. He was working out. He ran up to me. So I just feel like we already have that bond. And I have Tyson Campbell here as well to help me.
Hi, Trayvon. Welcome to Jacksonville. A lot of prospects want that moment in Vegas, to walk across the stage and make it the big deal that it is, but you wanted to be close to your family. Why is that?
I'm just a family person. Don't get me wrong. Being in Vegas, it would have been a great experience, but me, the type person I am, I really don't care for all the cameras and things of that nature, so I just love being around my family.
None of us do, Trayvon. Yeah. None of us do.
I don't mind it.
No, you do.
Trayvon, welcome to Jacksonville. Chris Porter, First Coast News. First, I want to say thank you as a Georgia fan for helping to lead the Bulldogs to a national championship, because there were times when I thought I would never see that in my lifetime. So thank you, my friend.
No problem.
You have made it very clear that you're very close with your family. You've also discussed the relationship with your father and the discipline and morals that he's instilled in you. How have you used that? How have you translated that to the field, and how has that factored into your success?
I say just being true to myself. Like, I know how I was raised. I know the type of parents that I have. So just the way that they raised me, it carried over to on the field as well. Just be disciplined. I always been a hard worker. My dad always pushed me. So I feel like I worked hard, got that from him. Mom, they all stayed on me, disciplined. So I have no other choice.
Trent, I know you touched a little bit on this last night, way back here. When you have a guy like this that's so versatile in the college game, is it difficult to just put him on the edge? And why do you think he fits best right there for this scheme, for this team?
Well, first of all, going through the process, we talked about the versatility, and as a staff and a coaching staff and personnel staff, we talked about that exact thing, and how he's played and what techniques he's played. That's up to the coaches. We know what he can do. The coaching staff knows what he can do, and it's up to Mike and his staff to put him in a position to be very successful. So, that's a better question to ask the coaching staff as to when he gets how we're going to play him and what his role is going to be from the start.
Doug, I'll jump in then. You guys obviously have a vision when you're taking a player like this. How do you see it fitting in, and maybe speak for Mike Caldwell just a little bit on that?
Well, again, I'm not going to speak for Mike, obviously, but I think we share the same thoughts here. Number one, we want to get Trayvon in here in a couple of weeks, actually, for our rookie mini camp, our developmental program with the rookies, and really get them started with the philosophy and with the terminology on defense, and really, as Trayvon alluded to, put him in one spot and let him grow in one spot, and obviously there is versatility. So as we grow with him and as he understands, what we're doing schematically, we can, move him around the defense just a little bit. But it's just a matter of getting him in here, getting him acclimated, getting him around the teammates, and getting him started, with the defense, and really solidifying one spot and letting him grow in that spot.
Question for Doug. Doug, back in February, when you were trying to put together your coaching staff, what did you tell Mike Caldwell about the defense? Because at that time, given where the landscape was, you can't guarantee that, hey, we're going to get such and such a guy in free agency. You can't say definitively that you're taking a defensive guy for number one. So what did you tell Mike about the prospects for this defense at that time?
I just said, Mike, do you want the job? He said yes. No, for me, obviously being in this league a long time and studying defense and understanding the complexities of defense and really how Jacksonville is built currently. Prior to me, coming here and knowing the strength of the team was, the front, and knowing Mike's history and who he's worked under and for, and the places he's been, it was really a great fit for us to have a guy like Mike to come in and just take what we currently have and make it even better, right? And we knew that the type of personnel that we had in the 34 configuration, the 34 structure, but it's so versatile. And for me, when I scheme defense, the 3-4 becomes a little bit of a challenge to go up against. It becomes a little harder to run the football. It becomes some protection issues. And so for me, that's, as the head coach, that's what I want on defense. I want complexity. I want complexity, but at the same time, it's simple for the players to learn, if that makes sense. And so I wanted that for our defense and guys that have had success. I mean, he just came off of a world championship in Tampa, and he's seen it at a high level. He's worked under some really good coordinators, Todd Bowles, Jim Johnson. He played for the late Jim Johnson and guys like that. So, for me, it was an easy plug and play with Mike to come in and start that process.
Okay, so tell me now, 10 weeks after he's here, you add the 4 pieces on defense in free agency. You invest 2 first-rounders. You've essentially traded linebackers, right, in the last year. So what has Mike's reaction been here in the last, 12 hours to all these pieces he now has?
I mean, it's exciting. The whole team, the whole staff's excited, and that's the thing I think that people have to understand is that we're a cohesive staff. It doesn't matter if it's an offensive guy or a defensive guy that we take. It's a matter of building the best team possible, right? And adding talent and competition. I'm big about creating competition at every position. And we've been able to do that now, with Trayvon and even Devin, last night and selecting him and just adding more pieces to an already good defense and along with the free agents we added and our current roster. The current roster is solid. It's good. It's it's something that we've been excited as a staff about. And that's the one thing I think, as a head coach, that as we put all these pieces together, it's not offense. I don't ever preach offense versus defense, right? It's all about being a team and because we win as a team, right? You win and lose as a football team, and the staff feels the same way. But yeah, Mike is excited.
Trayvon, just wanted to ask you, you was a 5-star recruit, and just how have you gone just handling expectations? You're probably going to have the biggest expectations in your life with being a number 1 pick, but has that been something that always, since you played football, that you had to live up to expectations? And just what is your process of handling it in the way that you handle it since you've been a top player?
I just have to say, for me, it's not about living up to the expectations, because it's something that I've been doing ever since I was a little kid. So I just feel that once I get the opportunity, just maximize my opportunity that I have and do my best at it. Can't worry about what everybody else, what they have to say.
Trayvon, 2 questions for you. First of all, Georgia's defense sets a record with 5 players drafted in the first round. Can you shed some light on how proud you may be of that accomplishment and more to come? Second question, spinning forward, I'm interested in what NFL players you may have tapped as a resource during this process and what you sense the best advice may have been given to you as far as what you do on the next level.
Yes, sir. So, what was your first question again? Sorry.
Georgia defense.
Oh, yeah. But, that was special, having playing beside all those guys, being on the field with those guys at the same time. Having 5 guys drafted in the first round, obviously, is something special. You don't see that too often, playing around those guys and being around those guys. They're great young men who really love the game of football, and that's why I feel like we won the national championship last year, because of our connection, and that just made everybody else around us better. And some players that I've been talking to in the league that's been telling me some things is people like Malik Herring, Dexter Lawrence, Tate Crowder. I know a pretty good bit of people in the league, so it's not just those 3, it's more.
What's the best advice you think you've heard from And that could change in the future when you look back on the advice, but.
Something that I get from all of those players is they just tell me to be myself. They tell me to stay humble like I always been. They know I'm a hard worker. I'm a person who's going to give it my all. So they just tell me to be who I am, who I always been.
Right here, Kendra Douglas from West 2. This is kind of for either Doug or Trent, but 5 defensive guys are drafted within the first 5 selections of this draft. You guys getting one too. Why do you think that was such a need in the NFL, and how do you guys hope to capitalize off of the guys that you have in moving forward?
I think that was your question.
I think that was well, it's hard to speak for other teams and what their thoughts are. I think you look at the draft and everybody looks at needs and everybody looks at talent. And when talent, there's again, I don't know that I can speak for every team. I know what I look at and where we had guys valued. We had some offensive players valued up there as well. I think you have to look at the team, what their need was, and where they maybe had players valued. But defensive players, it's a premium. You got to be able to stop these explosive offenses now. And that's not getting any easier with the way they're spreading you out and attacking you vertically and horizontally. So when you got a chance to pick a marquee player on a defensive pressure, especially a pressure player, right, or a cover corner, I think that all factors into it.
Over here, guys. Sorry. This is for Doug and Trent. When you guys are evaluating a player like Trayvon who may not have done some of the things in college that you envision him doing for you, what are some of the things that you're looking for when you're watching that film or whatever, or talking to coaches that let you know, yeah, he's going to be able to do exactly what we need?
Well, again, you take a deep dive into what they can do. And the thing that was mentioned yesterday was production. And production's a lot of things. It's not just one metric. So you look at what they do in the positions they were placed in and how that factors into the scheme that we play. And, he's just a really good fit for our scheme. Obviously, the versatility is something that we looked at. But like coaches mentioned and we've talked about, getting him in a situation where he's doing one thing or one or two things in terms of techniques and letting him grow from there is the vision we have. And we're pretty confident after all the work that we did that he's going to grow and grow quickly in the scheme that we have.
Travon, you mentioned earlier, playing so many different positions for Georgia, never really playing one role. Just what's your level of excitement of landing in a defense where, like Trent said, they're going to let you try to grow, in that role?
It's very exciting because I've always moved around ever since I was in high school. I played middle linebacker in high school. I've never just played one position. So when people say I don't have a lot of production, I feel like once I do get to just train for one position and play that one position only, I feel like that'll just come on its own.
Yeah, Trayvon, wanted to double check. You never played against Trevor in high school, right?
No, sir.
Okay. What was kind of like when you were in high school? Was Trevor kind of like a legend in that area, and did you guys, just did word filter out about how good this guy in Cartersville was?
Yeah, Trevor was definitely a legend in the whole state of Georgia. Had all the records, so he was well known, and I basically just got to know him going on visits.
And have you talked to Tyson yet today, and how's he feeling?
I talked to Tyson last night. Tyson Campbell, he's always going to keep a big smile on his face. That was the first thing I seen from him when he called me last night, and he seemed very happy.
Back over here, Trayvon. Going back to the conversation about Mike Caldwell, the defense he wants to run here, I'm curious, as you were going through the interview process, did you meet with Mike? Did you meet with Coach Buckner? Was there a particular meeting that really stuck out with those guys?
I did meet with him, and every meeting that I had when I came on my top 30, I felt like all of them went good. So it's not just those 2 meetings, but all of the meetings that I had went well.
Awesome. And then for Shad, it's been 2+ months since the new regime was unveiled, and I know we're in the middle of the NFL draft, but how are you feeling as we get through round 1 here?
I'm feeling great. I think, Doug, Trent, I think the work they've done, I think collaboration has really been exemplary. So.
This is for Trent. When you see the two guys that you've drafted in the first round, how much of their expected impact for you is about not just speed going side to side or getting to the pass rusher, but also just about the physicality that they bring, given what you were facing in the AFC South year after year?
Well, I think the first thing, Gene, I didn't draft them. We drafted them. I think that we have to make that clear. I think, when we look at this, and Shad's talked about it, Doug's talked about it yesterday, I'm talking about it now. This isn't one person's, it's collaboration, right? When I look at these guys, to win this division, I know this, you have to play physical football. You have to win the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. And these two young men have the ability to help us do that. So that certainly played into it. But and a lot of it, in this, as you look at this division and moving forward, having guys that can do different things. Again, we come back to that versatility thing. You only have 53 players on a roster. 27, 26 of them are defensive players. So the more they can do, the more ways they can help each other, the more interchangeable they can become, the more assets you really have, and that's how we look at it.